je suis, yo soy, watashi wa nanun, ego sum. I am Chris. This is Chris in English. And today, I want to know, would you spend a year in space? I got my space tie on today. I've been thinking about space a lot. Lots of things going on in space, mostly because there's a lot of space for things to go on. I am so glad to be here today, my friends. I hope everybody is healthy and safe. I hope you're doing well. I hope your cities are starting to recover from our stupid coronavirus lockdowns and all of that fun stuff. I'm still here. I'm still teaching English. I'm healthy. I'm sane. My family's doing well. My friends are excellent. And I'm going to come just a little closer because I like you guys that much. Yeah, so happy Thursday. Thursday is also known as Friday Eve, the day before Friday. And Friday Eve is better than Christmas Eve. Friday Eve is better than New Year's Eve because you get 52 Friday Eves every year. Mighty is in the house. I'm so glad to see you this morning. I hope you're doing well. I'm doing well. I'm healthy. I'm safe. I'm happy. I've got a delicious cup of coffee in a Star Wars mug. And that's a good cup of coffee. I hope you're doing well, mighty. Here's what we are going to do today. Our question of the day. Would you, and I'm talking to you, mighty, I'm talking to you. Would you spend a year in space? Go up to space, go to the space station, get a spaceship. I don't know. However you want to spend your year in space. That's up to you. But would you spend a year in space? That's our question of the day. We'll talk about that when we get closer to the end of our day. We have our word of the day today. I'll teach you an interesting word that you can use in the English language. Yeah, and that's no chump change. Chump change. Is that a clue? Is that a hint? Could change be a clue? Hey, I am doing pretty well, mighty. Thank you for asking. Definitely not k. Oh, you young people and your internet language. I think that means you're okay. I think that means you're good. I hope you're good. I hope you're doing well. I am doing pretty well. You know, I don't have any place to go because San Diego's in lockdown, although we should be getting out of lockdown soon. I'm spending lots of time on my computer. I've watched lots of Star Wars. I've seen all of Netflix. I'm out of Netflix. I've watched it all because of stupid coronavirus lockdown. I hope you're doing well, my mighty. I really do. And a little bit later, I'll give you the San Diego coronavirus update. I'll tell you all of the news that's happening in San Diego as far as coronavirus goes. Some of it's pretty good. Some of the news is pretty good. Oh, so Mighty is telling us she would not, absolutely not, spend a year in space. Could be fun. You could meet E.T., maybe Luke Skywalker. No? Well, today, for our big lesson today, I'm going to tell you about the first Earthling in space. The first Earthling in space. And that means I get to teach a wonderful word, Earthling, which means any creature from the planet Earth. Earthling. You're an Earthling. I'm an Earthling. The bird that just flew past my window, that bird's an Earthling too. Anything from the planet Earth is an Earthling. And today we're going to talk about the first Earthling who went to space. So that's our plan for today. Let's get to it. I'll start with the San Diego coronavirus update. What's happening with coronavirus in San Diego, in California, and in the United States? Well, San Diego County is very lucky right now. San Diego County is officially off of the state watch list. That means our numbers have come down enough that we are at a level where we're waiting for other things to happen so that we can continue opening. What that means is in about a week and a half, not this Monday, but next, they could conceivably start opening schools back up. Conceivably. Not a sure thing, but conceivably. And once the schools start opening back up, that means other businesses can start opening back up too. It's like the domino effect. Once the first thing falls, the rest of them start to fall as well. So, we are in that timeline right now. San Diego County, we have 35,439 confirmed cases of coronavirus with 638 deaths from the virus. Every death saddens us and is a loss to our world. California, we have 647,000 confirmed cases of coronavirus with 11,686 deaths. Our numbers are coming down, but not fast enough in California. Numbers for the United States, 5.54 million confirmed cases. We had an additional 43,000 cases reported yesterday. We've had 173,000 deaths in the United States from the virus. That's an additional 1,369 just yesterday. So we're not out of the woods. We're not in smooth sailing. But at least in California right now, our numbers are going in the right direction, and I hope that that trend will continue for the state, for my county, and that it will catch for the rest of the country. 22.4 million confirmed cases on our planet. 788,000 deaths due to coronavirus. We're closing in on 1 million, and I hope that those numbers do not include any of my friends or students out there. So that's it. That's the San Diego coronavirus report. Some other things to report for San Diego and California in general. We have some terrible fires in the state right now. Terrible fires. California's on fire again. We always have fires. We live in a fire zone. So we're fighting coronavirus. And we are evacuating people from their homes, from their cities, because of these fires. Why do we have fires right now? Because we have a heat wave. The temperature has been in the high 80s for the last 7 or so days. So that means, for Celsius, that means we're 28 to 30 degrees for the last 7 days. Not terrible. I know, we're not talking Saudi Arabia weather. We're not talking Death Valley weather. But it's hot for San Diego, and it's humid. So we're not just dealing with the virus right now. We're dealing with lots of things happening on top of the virus. All right, let's do it. You waited long enough, mighty mighty. I know why you're here. You are here for the word of the day. Today is a word that you can bank on. Is that a clue? Yeah? A word that maybe you can cash in on? Is that a clue? All of these money terms, is that a clue for what our word of the day is? It is, absolutely is a clue. Our word of the day today is specie. Careful, not species, although they're related. The word of the day today is specie, and it means coins. It's a fancy word that means coins. This is a once-a-year word. This is not a word that you're going to hear every day, every month. You'll hear this word maybe once a year. It's a highly specialized word. And it means coins. Not specific coins, but just coins in general. Here's a sentence. Pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters. These are the 4 major species in the United States. These are the 4 major coin types in the United States. Okay, all right, it's true. We have a 50-cent coin, and we have a $1 coin. But those are the 4 major types. Yes, mighty mighty. Here's your spelling for specie. S-P-E-C-I-E. Specie. And it means coins. Types of coins. Shipwrecks. Ships that have sunk, like the Titanic, are all over the world. And there are shipwrecks all over the world, full of gold, full of diamonds, and full of species of all types. Specie. S-P-E-C-I-E. That is our word of the day. It's a once-a-year word. Can you make a sentence? Can you make a sentence for us, Mighty Maite, using our word of the day, specie? I bet you can. I bet you can. Good cup of coffee. The first Earthling in space! Maggie! Hello, Miss Maggie. I am so glad to see you today. I hope you're doing well. Our word of the day today, Maggie, is specie. S-P-E-C-I-E. Not species, species. And it means coins. It's a fancy word that means coins. Pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters are the four major species in the United States. Coins! It's our word of the day, specie. All right, now, for our show, we're going to talk about the first Earthling in space, and that means I get to tell you what an Earthling is. I love Earthlings. In fact, I'm an Earthling, and you're an Earthling. Earthlings are any animal or any plant, anything alive that comes from the planet Earth. Earthling. Oh, Mighty has a sentence for us. The real is the official species of Brazil. Very good. It's true. Now, I'm pretty sure it's true. I thought the real was paper money, but maybe there are coin versions of the real as well. I don't know. I don't have any Brazilian money. But it's a great sentence, Mighty Maite. Thank you very much. The first Earthling in space. The day is November 3rd, 1957. And a spacecraft is launched from the Cosmodrome in the Soviet Union. Inside of the space capsule, Mighty Maite is telling us that, yes, there are coins for the real. Thank you, Mighty Maite. Thank you. Today I learned. I love when that happens. In the space capsule is the first Earthling ever to go to space, ever to achieve orbit around our planet. And that Earthling's name was Laika, and that Earthling was a dog. Oh yes, the first Earthling to ever go into space was a dog, which I think is really cool because I have a dog. But I also think it's really sad because I have a dog. And while Laika is a hero, Laika died. Let's learn a little bit about Laika. The Soviet Union launched Sputnik, the first satellite in space. There was nothing alive on Sputnik. Just went up into orbit, went around a few times, and went beep, beep, beep. Sputnik. But the world was fascinated, as well we should have been. It was the first time humans put anything into space. The world was thrilled, and the Soviet Union wanted a sequel. You know, everybody likes a good sequel. So they decided to launch Sputnik 2. But this time they wanted something alive on Sputnik 2. They wanted to be able to prove that humans could survive being launched into space. And they wanted to prove this without killing a human. So they decided to use a dog. They found Laika on the streets of Moscow. Laika was a mutt and a stray. That means Laika had no home. She lived on the streets. And she was a mutt. She was a mix of different kinds of dogs. Mostly they think she was part husky, which is the big furry dog that pulls the sled in Alaska, and a terrier, which is the cute little dog who likes to dig holes. My dog is part terrier, no part husky. They wanted to use street dogs. They wanted to use strays for this experiment because they figured that a stray dog would be more accustomed to being uncomfortable, would be accustomed to being hungry, would be accustomed to being cold. So they chose stray dogs in order to accommodate that. So they found Laika on the streets of Moscow. They took her back to her laboratory, and that's when her training began. That's when she was trained to become an astronaut. That's kind of a cool story. A stray dog, the lowliest dog in the world. No home, no master, but has the strength and power to become an astronaut, the first astronaut from planet Earth. Kind of an inspirational story, especially if you're a dog. Laika trained for 4 weeks. They only had 4 weeks to make this happen. They put Laika into successively smaller cages so that she would become used to being in a small, confined area. They trained her in the centrifuge. You've seen the centrifuge. The machine, it spins, and people's faces get pulled back. That's called a centrifuge. Yeah. They put her in boxes that had the noise of the spacecraft so that she could get used to the sounds that she would hear when she was in space. She trained like an astronaut. They didn't just take a dog and throw it into a spaceship and throw it into space. No, she trained like a professional. Laika's trainer, Vladimir Yazdovsky, wrote a book about the Soviet space program specifically, and Laika in general. Apparently, before Laika was sent into space, the doctor took Laika home to play with his children and have a night as a normal, regular dog. Apparently, Laika was a nice dog, got along well with the kids, liked to play. Was a quiet dog, didn't cause problems. Yeah. There's a quote from Dr. Yazdovsky. Laika was quiet and charming. I wanted to do something nice for her. She had so little time left. Laika was placed in her capsule on October 31st, 1957, 3 days before the start of the mission. So she was put into her capsule a full 3 days early. A capsule that was small, she couldn't move, she couldn't turn around. She had food. They were feeding her a gel, a protein-packed gel. So she had food, she had water. It was very cold that time of year, so they had a hose hooked up to a heater, and they pumped the capsule full of heat that way to keep her warm. When it came time for Laika to leave, the trainers left the capsule, and they kissed her on the nose and said goodbye. And they closed the hatch. And they wished her bon voyage, safe travels, even though they knew she would never return to Earth. 5:30 in the morning, Moscow time on November the 3rd, Laika was launched into space. Reaching orbit, she became the first Earthling to leave our planet and enter space into orbit. The nose cone was jettisoned successfully, but there was a problem. Some of the thermal insulation, the ingredients on the spacecraft that kept heat out, well, it fell off of the capsule that Laika was in. The temperatures started rising to 40 degrees Celsius. That's 104 or 105 degrees Fahrenheit. Remember, they only had 4 weeks to put this mission together, and apparently what the after report found was it's not possible to create and build a temperature control system for a spacecraft in that amount of time. The Soviet Union told the world that Laika lived for about 6 days and that she was euthanized, that they gave her food that made her fall asleep, and then when her oxygen ran out, she died peacefully. And apparently that was the plan. However, because of the mistake in the thermal insulation, the spacecraft overheated, and within 3 hours of the start of the mission, there were no further signs of life received from the instruments on the spacecraft. Laika died, and about 3 months later, the spacecraft re-entered orbit, re-entered the Earth's atmosphere, and burned to a crisp, disintegrated. But Laika is a hero of Earth. A dog is a hero of Earth. So much a hero that there are stamps with Laika's picture. And in Moscow, there is a statue of a dog standing on top of a rocket, looking up into space heroically. And that, of course, is Laika, the astronaut dog, and the first Earthling in space! I love that story, Laika. Which brings us back to our question of the day. Would you spend a year in space? Would you be a hero of Earth and go to space? I absolutely would. Lexi! Hello, my Lexi. I am so happy to see you this morning. I hope you're doing well. I really hope you're doing well. You made me smile so big when I saw your video of you dancing. Thank you for sharing that. It made me smile so big. The question of the day, Lexi. Would you spend a year in space? I would. I absolutely would. We were spending some time this morning talking about Laika, the astronaut dog from Russia, from the Soviet Union. And Laika was the first Earthling in space. Would you go to space? Would you spend a year in space? I would. I'd spend a year in the space station. I'd spend a year on the moon. I'd spend a couple years going to Mars. I would love to spend some time in space. 1 year. Yeah. Yeah. Is that the deal breaker? You would spend more than a year or less than a year, but not exactly 1 year? I'd spend a year in space. It's just a year. You'd come back. You'd be a hero. You'd be on the news. You'd really, really like hamburgers. Our word of the day today was specie. S-P-E-C-I-E. It's a fancy word. It's a noun, and it means coins. A different way to describe coins. Lexi's telling us, no way. She still has too much to see here on Earth. That's a good point, Lexi. That is a good point. There is so much to see on Earth. But look at it this way, Lexi. If you went to space, you could see everything on Earth all at the same time. Just look out the window. Oh, look, it's the Grand Canyon. Oh, look, it's the Great Wall of China. Oh, look, it's the Great Barrier Reef. Right? You could see it all in 1 day. Literally 1 day. Okay, Lexi, I will stop planning our space vacation together. Okay. Any questions? That's what I have today. Does anybody have any questions for me? Does anybody have anything that they want to share? Mighty Maite, do you have anything you want to share? Lexi, do you have anything that you want to share? I want to hear. I think I've shared what I've got. I'm excited because tomorrow's Friday, and tomorrow's Friday Fun Day. That means we'll play some games together. I've got some new riddles, some new word puzzles for us to solve together. Should be fun. But that's tomorrow. Who has questions for me today? Anybody? All right. Well, I want to say thank you to you guys. I had an absolutely great time with you. Oh! There was one more thing I wanted to share about Laika. Her name. Oh, wait. I got something from Lexi here. Lexi has 4 days off. Lexi's on vacation. Congratulations. She's going to spend some time in the German part of Switzerland. Lexi, guten Tag to you. I know that's terrible German, but guten Tag anyway. I hope you have a great time. Say hi to our friends. And eat some fondue. Eat some raclette. I don't know. Yeah, I guess that's Zurich. So yeah, I hope you have a great time. Send me a picture. I'll be looking for a picture. Laika's name comes from the Russian verb layak, which means to bark. Arf, arf. Thank you, Lexi. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining. Mighty Maite, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining the show. I'll be back tomorrow for Friday. Friday fun day, and then we'll enjoy a weekend. Please remember, please remember, be safe, wear your mask, wash your hands, stay out of crowds. And also remember, my name is Chris. I love you all. Go away.